The police were called during Trudeau's India trip, not because Trudeau brought along a convicted anti-India Khalistani terrorist as an official guest, but because a serious crime against Trudeau needed investigating. Yes, friends, someone stole Trudeau's Toblerones. You know what I learned this past week? That Trudeau is deadly serious about his snacks, serious as a heart attack or a groping allegation. It should not surprise you that he likes his snacks like he likes his skin, cocoa-colored. Stay with me. This will all make sense in just a second. I've been going through an enormous access to information document package relating to the government's use of the Challenger jet fleet. It's hundreds of pages long. Some of it is mundane nonsense of bureaucratic busywork. Some of it is gold, like Trudeau, the national plastics outlawer and drink box water bottle sort of thing aficionado, insisting on plastic bottles on his flights because, they make the garbage a little lighter. No recycling for that guy. We also uncovered that the government Challenger did go to Barbados over Christmas last year, but without Trudeau, according to Flight Manifest. It was a military mission. But instead of just clarifying, like a normal government would do when civilians notice a flight, with government call signs in warmer climes after Trudeau told the rest of us to just stay home like a bunch of COVID hermits, the people in charge at the Department of National Defense just left the rumors and innuendo to run rampant and then mocked people who were drawing their own conclusions in the absence of clarity. They were mocked as conspiracy theorists. It was like a sick game of Frogger for DND bureaucrats. Now, we don't get any Trudeau bailout money to do this kind of work. All this work is supported by our viewers through crowdfunding and a special website, rebelinvestigates.com. And thanks to everyone who makes all this work possible. Anyway, today is another one of those golden days. Let me give you some backstory context first. Today's information relates to the ill-fated and embarrassing India trip wherein Trudeau namasteed and costumed his way across the world's largest democracy in such an embarrassing spectacle that he made Indian Bollywood stars uneasy with his over-the-top costumes. His performance may have been related to the tariff slapped on Canadian pulses by India right after Trudeau came back home. But Trudeau's insistence on being the corpse at every funeral, the bride at every wedding, and the baby at every baptism, to paraphrase Alice Roosevelt, was actually the least embarrassing thing Trudeau got up to in India. He actually did cause an international incident when, as an official guest of the Canadian delegation to India, he brought with him a Khalistani terrorist, a man named Jaspal Atwal, an Indo-Canadian businessman convicted of attempted murder for his role in the 1986 attempted assassination of a Punjab government minister. A Khalistani sympathizer, a member of a now banned militant group. That's who Trudeau brought with him. Imagine how the Indians felt. It caused a public relations crisis for Trudeau, but having a terrorist on the trip wasn't the most serious thing that prompted a police investigation that caused the Canadian delegation to get the Indian police on the case. The real crime was someone stealing Trudeau's chocolates, 3 cans of pop, and some sparkling water. The Delhi police were mobilized to deal with this shocking crime. Here's the internal email. This is from one government bureaucrat to another, and the Canadian forces are CC'd on this since they are the people in charge of the Challenger jet fleet. Catering issue. Christine, as per our conversation and after speaking to MS Elena Champagne, lead flight steward, she informed me of the following. After verifying the catering order that was inspected by Delhi police at the catering company, she made the following observations. Missing out of all of the food trays was the little chocolate that was supposed to be in every tray. All chocolate boxes were opened and about a handful were missing in each box. 1/3 of the Toblerone bars were missing from their box. 3 cans of pop was taken from each of the makes of pop and Perrier. I have CC'd the lead flight steward and the MC on this email. Martin Rivard, Warrant Officer, Travel Officer, Canadian Forces Air Marshal Detail. This is an Air Marshal called in to deal with the stolen chocolates. And the Delhi police. The documents do not tell us who is ultimately the international Snickers snatcher or if anyone was ever charged and convicted of this heinous Hershey heist. But we do know it was treated far more seriously by Team Trudeau than the terrorist on the trip. I play a little game in my mind sometimes called Imagine if Harper did it. If Harper called the cops to conduct a serious investigation in a foreign land if someone misappropriated his Milky Ways, Harper would have been laughed out of office and maybe even out of the party. But Trudeau, well, this story and these documents do make Trudeau look childish and unserious, and that's why the mainstream media would never, ever show them to you. But we publish documents in full, so you don't have to take my word for it. You can read for yourself and draw your own conclusions. But we also publish these documents because maybe one day the mainstream media might do a story on them too. And we make it really easy because I did all the work already. We got the documents, we paid for them, thanks to our donations to rebelinvestigates.com. We parsed through hundreds of pages. Maybe the mainstream media might take interest, but I suspect as usual, not a Tory, not a story. If you'd like to help us get access to these sorts of government documents by offsetting the filing, appealing, and research costs, please visit that website, rebelinvestigates.com. And thank you to everyone who has donated already. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. If you'd like to donate to offset our research and investigation costs, there's a special website for you to do that. It's called rebelinvestigates.com.